a podcast that talks about music, movies, sports, and news. To know the people, promoting and sharing with the world a beautiful story. This is Frail Fragments Monster Closet.
Hey, this is the Monster Closet episode 127. Friday, March 28th, 2025. Happy Friday. It's gloomy outside. It's early in the morning here. We're waking up, but I mean, this is better than coffee. We got a special guest today. He's got lots of stories. He can vibe. I mean, I want to introduce. I'm very excited to have this gentleman on as an added guest. I want him to be a frequent guest. Maybe drop in monthly or bi-monthly. We go back a long way. A lot of parties together. I mean, we go back about over 20 years, I think. Yeah, we do. This guy's brilliant. I mean, he'll talk a little bit more about what he does right now, but you know, I knew him back when we were kids in our like 20s, early 20s, and I'd come up to see my boy Chris Chanis, who hasn't been on the show, but we're gonna get him on the show. And you know, Chris and Joey lived together, right? I think that's how it was. But
yeah, we were roommates in university. Yeah,
there you go.
So it's back at 271, man. 271. I don't know if that's how we called it. That was the address, 271 Westcourt. Yeah.
And if those walls could talk, like we had some fucking bashes in there. And just to introduce, this is Joey Thompson. What's up, buddy?
Joey. Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, man. Talking about coffee, I already had 2 coffees. I'm jacked.
Holy shit. And Joey used to be a big guy, right? He used to be like probably 100 pounds heavier than he is now. He was like built like a fridge, right? He looked like a huge, but now he's like jacked. I can see he's probably fucking in the gym before he even fucking came on this podcast. Had 2 pots.
I can't get up that early, man. I can't get up that early. No, I work out at night, man. I work out at night.
Nice.
It's the only time I got.
How many times, and you're a dad, right? You have like 3 kids?
3 kids, man. They keep me so busy. They're all like, they're 13, 14, 16. 2 of them are in high school. They all do different sports, extracurriculars. Like my son plays guitar, he's boxing. Both boys play football. They're doing rugby. I'm like, my daughter does curling. Like, man, so busy, man. It's hard to find time to do anything. That's the thing. Like, that's what I said. Like nighttime is the only time I find actually I can do anything, right? If I want to play some video games, it has to be at like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. Like,
what video games are you playing, bro?
Playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now on the PC, so just enjoying that. I think I'm on like my 3rd playthrough, playing with some buddies on that. I'm loving it, man. But it's actually funny. I was thinking about it the other day. That man, they don't make video games almost now like then how they used to, like way back in the day. Like I remember grinding like old school Nintendo games, and it's funny because like all the hard games back, like RoboCop and even like the Marios, and like, man, my kids don't have the attention span to grind games like we used to. It's like,
that's true, bro.
Yeah, like, because we used to just you play the Nintendo, you would like every level. You play Mario 3. Yeah, Mario 3, and you're like, I can't beat this one level. I can't make this one jump. And it's like,
and you obsessed with it all day long at school. You obsessed over that shit all day.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Well, dude, nowadays it's like the kids are playing Call of Duty and Rainbow Six Siege and shit like that, right? It's like it's different. Like they grind it differently, right? It's like you get into a match and then you like die and then you'll get next one. It's like it's different. Like before it was like the games were all the side scroller games and you had to grind and like memorize each level and each.
It's patterns, right? It's memorizing patterns, right?
Yeah.
Bro, and just to toot my own horn, bro. Like the 2 games I was really good at were Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, I fucking love that game,
bro,
man.
In my prime, I could fucking pass that whole game without falling down.
That's awesome, man. Mike Tyson was always the trickiest. But it's like you almost remember that code that you would put in, you know, like
007 something.
Yeah, 007. Yeah, you as a kid, you'd have that shit memorized, and then you would just like punch it in to get like to Super Macho Man or whatever the hell it was, right? Like, yeah, so you don't have to fight Glass Joe every day, right?
Yeah, bro. I love that game. And Street Fighter for Super Nintendo is pretty unbeatable in, but those are my 2 games.
That was such one of the it was like a huge classic game. But yeah, it's actually kind of a funny story. But we were talking 271. Yeah. So I don't know if Janice ever told you this story, but so obviously we eventually left that house, right? We all kind of grew up, like graduated university, and then eventually it was time to call it quits to that place.
Right.
And we held a huge bash like the final day. And so like we were so like fucking tanked, and it was like the next day was like the day we were like moving out, and we had a bunch of people there, and Janice and I we had everything out of the house. There was nothing. There was no couches. The TV was on the floor. We had like the one console, and we had the old ass like Nintendo that was there, and we were trying to pass games. So we were passed like Super Mario 3. I can't even remember some of the other games. But we got to Ninja Turtles arcade game. I don't know if you remember that game.
Man.
And like Donatello was like the side scorer. It was
bro.
Like it was awesome, right? That game was so amazing, but it was so hard to beat that game. It was like you would get to the Technodrome, and then you would always inevitably die. You wouldn't have enough men. You would die. You would die to Krang or whatever, right? And and so that day, it was like literally the last thing we did in that household was Janice and I. Like we played the Ninja Turtles arcade game, and we went through. We made it down to Shredder, like Technodrome, Shredder. We're fighting them. Janice dies. I'm down to like my final life, and I'm literally. It was like you said, it was patterns, and I was doing this jump move where you could jump up and you could like shoot sideways and kick, and you were doing like I was doing this diagonal thing, and Shredder couldn't hit me. Literally down to like my last life, my last hit, and I just kept doing that, and fucking we killed Shredder, and it was like everybody started celebrating. Everybody's like jumping up, like like we're all fucking running around the house. Like it was just like the greatest fucking thing, man. That was like the best way to end 271. Like it was such a difficult game to beat, and oh man, it was such amazing kind of story or thing that we did kind of right at the end of 271, right in the last days.
Chris grinds games too, for sure. Like holy fuck, that guy like really can play games for like a couple of days, you know, like with Bond and shit like that. Bond 007, that guy was fucking hooked on that shit.
He played that.
In the day.
He played that for weeks on end, bro. Like that game changed that guy.
The one thing I remember, Janice and I, it was GTA Vice City. Man, I swear to God, we grinded that game. We skipped school for like a week. It was just like smoking a ton of weed, and we just fucking grinded that game like all fucking week, man. And like, it was, and that's like we skipped school for the week, and we beat that game. Like, but it was like such a long game. That game was so awesome.
Joey, what are your plans for 2025? What do you have going on?
2025? I'm taking my son to AC/DC coming up here. AC/DC is his favorite band. Actually, concerts is actually one of the bigger things that I got on the go. Like, I went out to see Korn recently. I took my daughter out with Spirit Box. Yeah, it was awesome.
That girl can fucking scream, bro.
Oh man, so she used to be in an old metal band called I Wrestled the Bear Once. So I used to listen to I Wrestled the Bear Once like long ago, and it was the original singer. And then I think her name Courtney LaPlante, I think is her name.
Courtney, I think
that's right. Anyway,
LaPlante.
Yeah. Oh man. So she was in I Wrestled the Bear Once, and then I didn't realize that they went and they made Spirit Box. I think the guitar player was from I Wrestled the Bear Once as well.
Yeah, he's together with her. I think they're married.
He's together with her. Yeah. And so, so they played and they blew me away. I'd never heard any of their stuff, and when I was there, I was like, "Oh shit, man, this is fucking awesome!" Like. Blew me away. I started like listening to tons of their stuff afterwards. Like
me too.
Yeah, super impressed with them. I know they just came up with some new material. So Spirit Box blew me away. And they say they hail from Vancouver. You know, I think she's maybe from the States. Like I think that's where I wrestled the bear once.
Oh really? Okay.
Originated was in the U.S., but I know they say they're like from Vancouver kind of.
Yeah,
thing,
Queen of the North. You know, I mean, she's a good representative for chicks. I haven't really heard like a singer that like a female vocalist that can scream like that ever.
Scream like that, yeah. There is some like other female singers out there that are good. Like the original I Wrestled the Bear One singer was awesome. Like she could scream like amazing too. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like some of the other bands that some of the other female singers that are out there. I hope people be screaming them. But yeah, it's it's like.
What about that? Yeah, there are bands, right? Like Ginger doesn't that?
Oh yeah.
Those bands, but I mean, this is like for me. This girl got my attention, bro.
Yeah.
This girl got my attention in a big way.
How deep the scream is, like
it's really deep, and like her tone is nice, and she's just
her great. Eyes are good, yeah. But so 2025, well, I'm going to be doing tons of concerts this year. I'm like back on the train. It almost is like cyclical. Like back when we were in university, like in those days, we used to go to concerts all the time. And so, but then after you have the kids, kind of that shit kind of like settles down a bit. You don't really have time to do that. Like you gotta work and focus on your family. But now the kids are older, they love shit like that. Like I actually took them out to Sum 41, like one of Sum 41's final concerts there a few weeks back in London. And that show was awesome, and it was Cobb played like freaking Cobb from early back in the 90s and shit. Yeah. Grew up on it, right? So it's like, then they played all their classics. Like, it was awesome, man. That was a great show. So yeah, I know Deftones coming to town, System of a Down. I'm gonna go see that show.
Oh, nice. That's gonna be
like,
fucking good.
That's the man. I'm so looking forward to that. I hope they have that fucking venue ready though. And the most weirdest thing is they called this place Rogers Stadium, which is so weird because you have Rogers Center, right?
I know.
And like, it's like almost the same name. So like, anybody from out of town, I had to look it up. Like, what is, like, I was just gonna go to Rogers Center because that's all Rogers. Yeah, okay, I can just go to Rogers Center. If I had done that, I would have freaking like missed the show because now you're having to go. It's like Downsview Park.
Yeah, it's
like
better
the other
there,
side
though.
of the town. Oh, it's gonna
there,
be it's gonna be easier to get to it for sure versus playing Chardonnay and yeah.
I saw AC/DC there for Starstock. Speaking of AC/DC, like
wow.
Downsview Park, that was pretty
that's
crazy too. Yeah,
that's my wife was saying that's like, I think that's the last time they even played in Canada.
Probably,
that show, like, and that's what, like, that's 25 years ago.
What,
almost.
Are they like 90 now, or
they got to be
Close to it.
80s probably, like, but it's still going strong though.
Yeah. They fucking stole the show at
SARS,
yeah. Like,
I heard over Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones had like 21 guys in their band.
Reminds me of like Broken Social Scene, man. It's like the whole crowd just gets up on stage and plays with them.
Fucking fossils, bro. But I mean, hey, man, they're doing what they've been playing for like 80 years now. So that's pretty. Hats off to them.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's Joey. Sorry, Joey, but Joey caught Frail Fragment live. It was funny, like, this was going back like 20 years ago. He was on his lunch break.
He came to work. Yeah, it was because I was working a night shift, so it was lunch break. It was like overnight, and so I was just like, I'm gonna check out of work for a couple hours. Yeah, go see you guys.
At the circus room.
What was Circus Room? I mean, it was Sammy's Garage, Circus Room. Yeah, man, I have vivid memories of that, man.
And it was just like that place was like alive that night. It was just like, it was like a trash bar or whatever you call it. But I mean, everyone loved us. The place was fucking packed, and it was just a fun time. And Joey just showed up, and it was just like, we kicked ass, like playing like the heaviest shit we had for like an hour.
That was fucking awesome, man. You guys were so heavy that night, man. You guys impressed me. But then because then I caught you guys a month ago. A
couple of months ago,
right? Yeah, it's like how much your guys' sounds really evolved, right? Like you could see how much you've like kind of matured, right? You think about it like, it's like when you're younger, you're kind of more angry, and then it's like you get the heavy metal, and then as you mature, it's like your kind of sound kind of evolves over time, right?
Yeah, man. Well, we got like 70 songs now in our Rolodex.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, we'd like to be able to, change gears. We're playing with we're not playing at Maxwell's. You got to kind of look at the bands you're playing with.
Well, yeah. Try to keep it in that genre. Yeah, because the other bands, it's not like they were crazy metal, but yeah.
Are you still playing? You still playing drums?
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you can kind of see them. They're kind of in behind me over here, but
hey, now
I try to get down as much as I can to just sit behind the kit and play. The thing I miss the most, man, is jamming with dudes. I don't have anybody to really play with anymore. Yeah, it's like, I just wish I try to find some people, and I love playing, and it's funny because it's like, even if you practice just a little bit, like maybe it's 30 minutes or like not even an hour at a time, how much better you can get just by that little bit of practice that you do, a little bit of practice. And so it's like, I feel like I've almost never been better on the drum kit with just these little practice sessions I do down, find like a little bit of a break from work, and then I just jump on the kit for a bit. But it's like how much smoother my rolls are and my double kick and shit like that. So it's like,
guys, like a Guelph area, Waterloo area, we're like in that vicinity. If people are looking for a drummer, man, like this guy is like top notch fucking drummer, right? So, I mean, yeah, like Joey, I would love to play with you, but I mean, we're far away, and I have a drummer, right? And I have like people, and I have people on deck, right? But I know we'll one day let's make it happen where we get together and we jam,
Yeah. My kids, I would totally be down for it.
My kids are still young. I mean, they need me right now. I'm in they need me more, I think, because my kids are 8 and 5. My daughter just turned 8, so it's like I'm taking them to like swimming lessons, soccer, basketball, cooking, dance classes, birthday parties. Then I have a podcast. I work 40 hours a week. I'm recording a 6th album. I booked a fucking 8-show tour for this year.
Nice.
And yeah, it's just I'm always going, but And that's why, like, I really wanted to get you on here, right? Because you could talk about anything, and you're really good energy, Joey. And you know, I love you, man.
Yeah. Oh man, we're going like you said, man. We go way back now. Like it's crazy how much time flies too, right? Like it was funny. I was actually moving into this place here a couple years ago, and I was cleaning out the garage, and I found our old student residence. Did you ever come to the student residence when we were at the University of Waterloo? You came there. I found the yearbook that we had of all fucking things. I'm cleaning it out, man, and I looked and it was like, holy shit, this was fucking like over 20 years ago now. And I'm like, so I like take all the pictures, I'm sending them to Chanis. I'm like, this was like a different time, man. Like it's like it's just crazy to go back and think about that stuff. Yeah,
I went into different dimensions with Joey. There was one time I remember at Layla's house, we did a bunch of shrooms, and I did like a half quarter, and I was so fucked up, Ace. I thought I needed to go to the hospital, right? And I was like connecting to consciousness, and like my body was like kind of in rhythm with nature. And
with the energy,
I could feel what was happening in I could feel the energy around me that like, and the things that were happening, dude. And like the shit I went through that night was crazy. And like, I'll never forget that night. And Joey was there, right? So it's kind of cool.
Man, because there was like several of us. What they bought, like, I don't know how much shrooms they bought, but yeah, we all ended up with like a half. It was some crazy amount. Man, it was so messed up because we all had it and we were all together at first, and then all of a sudden we all ended up in different spots, right? And then it was really weird because it was like, you would see a couple different people, and then you would like go off, and then it would be a couple other people that you were just with, and it totally made it kind of a messed up night. Cause like I remember, I don't know why we thought it was a good idea, but anyway, somebody jumped in the car and started driving. They're on like 3.5 grams of shrooms, and they're driving. And so I don't know if you ever remember the old CKY stuff, right? Where they used to like jump into bushes and all that shit. Like I don't think it was Chanis that was driving.
I don't remember a car in that.
But anyway, so we got in the car, we were driving, and then then we were driving by like people's houses, and I would get out of the car and I'd run up and I'd like jump into their bushes and shit, just like for like shits and giggles. And then it's like, cause then you could see them inside their house, and all of a sudden I'm like straight into the bush, and then get into the car, then we drive off, and eventually the guys, like I did that, and then they just drove off, and I'm like, well, that's the end of that chapter. And then it was I started walking the other way. Then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, I met up with a couple other guys, and then there was like a house party across the street, and it was like, it was so weird, like walking in on a house party, and it was such a weird house party. It was like, all these people were standing out front, you could hear the music, and then we're like, oh yeah, let's go get some beers, and like, let's have some fun, and then we go in, and literally, it's like just people sitting there like doing nothing, and it was the weirdest thing. And then when you're on mushrooms, it's like you're kind of like already kind of socially not awkward, but it's like you kind of get a little bit messed up with that, right? It's like it like threw us all right off, and we came in and we were like, see what's happening, and we're like, all right, let's turn it around and go. And then we left, and then it was like, man, I remember going down, there was like a creek that used to be behind her house. I mean, because you were saying like we're just like kind of getting with nature, and it was like I just sat and like listened to the stream roll by kind of thing. It was just like, I don't know for even how long. Like I guess like all timing is kind of like distorted when you're kind of on mushrooms like that, right? So it's like it felt like an eternity that I was there, but it was like probably only 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I one time while Joey was doing that, I stripped down naked and got into the bed, like into Layla's bed, and I was there. Okay, and I felt like this girl was in love with me. And Chris came down. He's like, Len, man, like get out of the fucking bed. What are you doing? I'm like, no, I gotta go to the fucking hospital. This is the fucking point I was at. This is these parties that we would have. We were somewhere else, right? But I mean, I think I felt that I was tapped into something, because I mean, the next day, Layla and I started kind of like dating, right? So it was just a weird vibe, right? Like I don't know, we were so connected, and I just needed something, and I don't know, I think it was Chris, but I needed something to snap me out of it, because I was like too deep, like where I was like panicking, right? Yeah. So we went upstairs and we like watched the Blues Brothers. I remember.
Oh man. That was the greatest movie I'd ever watched in my life that night.
Fucking cat. We were fucking dying over like how much chest hair there was in like the shower scene or something, right?
Yeah. Oh man, movie tripped me out so bad, but I just couldn't stop laughing. Like the one scene where they're getting chased by the cops, and then it's just a car crash, like the cops are piling up,
movie.
and then it's just a car like flying over the top. And, oh man, yeah. The band was so awesome. I feel like that band was, I don't know if you remember the old band like Booker T and the MGs.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the band that played it in that movie. I'd have to go and look it up, but yeah, it's like, I don't know, Booker T and the MGs, the Green Onions and stuff, like back in the day. I feel like that was the band that was playing for them.
I'm not sure,
movie.
but like Ray Charles was in that, like Aretha
Yeah.
Franklin was in that. I mean, Aretha Franklin. Yeah, but man, that movie was my favorite movie, right? As a kid, like I love that movie. I love Trading Places. I mean, and then I like Eddie Murphy. Beverly Hills Cop was fucking sick. Commando, I liked when he's walking down Arnold, the fucking thing with the when you're 4 years old and you see Arnold walking down the fucking the mountain or whatever it is with a fucking log on his shoulder. It's like your life has changed. When you see him in Conan the fucking Destroyer just slice somebody's fucking head off like nothing. It's like a life-changing experience. You can't go back, right?
Oh man, all of his movies, man. Predator, Terminator 2, like those, absolutely life-changing movies. Those are such classics of all time.
Joey, there's not enough time, man, but can you please come back in a month?
Yeah, man.
Because
Absolutely,
I only have
man.
2 spots left for this month. We're so, like, now that we're playing shows and stuff, my thing is to have the bands on and kind of make the shows, create more awareness around the music and the shows, and like get to know the artists and, you know, make the shows more special and unique and like create awareness, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing with this. But, you know, I like to have, you know, these breathers and just have fun and have people that I love on the podcast or people that I think are interesting on the podcast. So you're one of those guys. And I hope to check in with you every month or so, you know, maybe every month, if not every 2 months, just to say what's up. And yeah, like when you come to Toronto, let me know. Like if you're with Chris or whatever, let me know. You know, there's no promises, but you know, I'll do my best to come say what's up or have a coffee or a beer or whatever, man. But have fun at the concerts. Have fun at the concerts, Joey. If you're looking for a drummer, man, this guy's amazing. So Waterloo
been
people,
on the shelf for a while. Yeah,
he's the elf on the shelf, man. So just you know, hit him up. We're gonna put his socials up. With this, it is the Monster Closet episode 127, Friday, March 28th, 2025. Have a great weekend. Thanks a lot, Joey Thompson. We out. Peace.
Peace.